Okay, while waiting for that to do, we might as well get some cakes done too. So, we're going to need some of this stuff. Let's do it as quick as we can. Trays from the start. Once again, trays. So, same deal. Put it around the inside. With your fingers, you're going to get it into all the bits. Because the worst thing is a cake stuck to a tray. And you've spent all that time making it, and the last thing you need is to be stuck in there. So when you say a 6-minute cake, an 8-minute cake, or whatever, it's not happening. This is first. Once again, learn this, save your time. And know you're going to be wasting stuff. Don't worry about it. Otherwise, you're just spending more time. First layer sticks to it, the second layer sticks it back in and holds it in place. Use that time of night when we have a coffee. If your man has a hat. Okay, right, so bowl's already dirty, so that's good news. So we need 6 butter, 6 sugar, 6 flour. That's our recipe, 666. Don't read anything into it. The actual number for the devil is 616, if anyone's interested. And I think that's Pembilton 616. You'd ring that, you'll probably get through. And this looks like 4.5. No, 3. It's 2. Oh, absolutely useless. Oh, it's because we're on grams. Ah, it's 6. You should get your measurements right. 6 ounces glorious butter, any type. Now you've got to switch up to self-raising. If you've got a wife like mine, she likes the plain cake. I'm for the chocolate. I'm making a real hash of this, but I'm trying to rush. 6 of that. That with some of this. You can use icing sugar, it produces a smoother cake. Syrup, even smoother. This is what I'm favouring at the moment. So that's 666. And then 3 of these guys. And then this is where your flavours come into it. You want to make a chocolate, take out 1 ounce of flour and put back in 1 ounce of chocolate. If you want to put mint in it, that's fine too. Anything like that. Where is it? Oh, it's here. Some of this, less than last time. It's very expensive. And this is getting When you start a mix, just do it 1, 2, and then pull it together, and then it won't fly everywhere. If you've got a big flyer, cover it. If you want to do it quick, get in there quickly, get it sorted down. Seats it down into the bottom, yeah, it comes off the side. Remember, you're only putting enough air in to just push it up. Rise up. The more you do it, the more air in it. Remember it, it's quite late at night, so don't be doing loud baking and forgetting that you're doing loud baking. Take your mix out. What I like to do is try and half it. Get it ready. So it's into a thing, off the sides and everything. Take your biscuit. Okay, and then you can see it's in two halves. And just put half, pick it up, put it in here. As quick as you can. Have a look, they should look about the same. If you've got kids, give them the mix, if they're allowed sugar. Mine are not, so no one gets it. So without change, your biscuits away, and just turn it, just put it in. Don't want to push it down into it because you don't want it to stick. It's not going to make much difference, but every little bit helps a bit. Turn the thing and swish it around. It's going to raise, it's going to spread out anyway. Now, if you love your other, this is where you add your bits of chocolate or your things like that. If you want your chocolate to stay solid, freeze it. Freeze it and then stick it in. But today I will be assisted by our lovely Spanish farmers. Hey, thank you Spanish farmers for all your brilliant fruit. My children love it. Oh, there's an open one. If you're a bit nervous, you could put the raspberries on one and not the other and see what happens. Because the wetness of the raspberries are a problem, because you're going to have to put them on and then let them raise through it. And you want to put in 1, 2, 3, 8. Really, that's about it. Don't go crazy. I'm going to do both and eat some raspberries. 8 and 1 in the middle. The one in the middle is going to make it awkward to cut, but go with it. Because you're adding a wet raspberry to it, it's going to loosen the mixture even more. So every time, there we go, that's what they are. 2 of those. If I leave the paper on, they're not going to cook as good, so I'm going to have to cut the paper from around it as well. With dirty hands, this is driving me mad. Forget it, you're going to have to wait. I'm going to have to wash my hands and put some of the stuff away. So in the meantime, I will tell you the story of, no I won't, but I have clean hands. Right, there we go. There we go, scissors, and take that off. Then the heat can get to it. The oven's a funny place. By the time I get these in, the other stuff's going to be coming out. Oh, I'm going to have to shoot them going in. But you can't afford that. So I'll put them in, take them out again and shoot them and put them back in again. But don't tell anyone, will you? Right, here we go, this one's for you. Right, so now I put them in the oven and take the other one out. Don't tell the other guys, I'm just going to do this. I just go in and go top, bottom, middle, depending on whether you like to strike it lucky or not. Bam, ba, bam, ba, bam, ba, bam, ba, ba, bam, bam. Alright, there they go. You didn't see any of that, did you? Want to try again? The bottom one's lightening. It's not ready yet. You can't touch it. It kind of puffs up a little bit, but not very much. And then you just got to slowly go through it. you don't need to turn the heat up because the oven's got more things in it now. It's going to be hotter. The more it's got stuff, the more. And then you've got your top ones. It's going to go pretty quick because the top of the oven is hotter than the bottom of the oven. A lot of stuff today. I'm sorry about that. My wife says if you want to know something, ask me, and you're going to know a hell of a lot about it unnecessarily. So okay, that's part 2. Hope you enjoyed that in-betweener, and let's get on with the show. No, let's go on with the show. Let's not get on with the show. Let's finish the show. That's part 2 of Millionaire Shortbread, if you didn't know already. And in the next part, we're going to freeze it, and then I'm going to wait 3.5 hours for that to happen, and then I'm going to freeze the next stage, and then freeze the next stage. So if you know how to do it already, that's basically it. The recipe's there. You can go ahead and
Go again.
I'm not wasting the time.
So it's the filling.
Let's go.
cake.
Next bit.
Just done.
What you'll need is this one's great. Very simple. You will need salt, Philadelphia cream cheese, that is, vanilla again, and extra double cream, thick cream. Have a look. Put them in a bowl, mix them. The more you mix them, the more air you're going to get through it, and then that's going to be basically foolproof mix for cakes. You add chocolate to it if you want it chocolatey. You add strawberry flavouring to it, any sort of flavouring at all. But when you're doing a cake that's got fruit in it, you're more than likely not to add chocolate to it. Chocolate and fruit, not the same thing. Not the same thing. Not really. Not for me. But you do get your Black Forest Gatto and all that. So there are exceptions. And really, when you eat, if you taste coffee, sometimes it's so fruity in its flavours because it is a bean, which is close to a fruit, you know what I mean. So, thanks for listening to my ramble. And here's your rubbish. That's the end of that. This time it's really late at night, so I suggest if you don't want to wake up your baby, have a couple of tea towels, or your wife, or your kids, over your mixer, over the engine bit, but don't get him caught up, will you? Oh no, it's going to take a really long time. Well done. Well, I don't have to whisper anymore, that's the loudest thing ever. Right, here you go, here's your stuff now. And that's ready. And we'll put that on the cake in a little while maybe. We'll have a look, see if the cake's ready now. Over here. my hand underneath the cake and on top of the cake. That's pretty good. I'd probably ice that. I can ice these right now. Oh, I'm never going to do this right with all this pressure of this thing. Okay, that's good. So we can take them out, put them on there, that's excellent. Alright, so you guys get to see the full show. How to ice the cake if you can't be bothered. One cake, two cakes. Can you see? Let's see. There we go. Not now. Who is this?
It wasn't recording.
Yeah, I know, but you know, I am recording here.
Oh.
So, would you excuse me?
Yeah.
Please. Thank you. If you want to come in and get a bottle, that's fine.
Thank you.
Okay, so. Would you mind not making any noise? Right, so got the first part of the cake on, that's great. You can add jam or anything you want to the top of these sponges. It's really not necessary because you're just making a quick cake. Somehow even. So stick a bit on your bottom there. It holds your cake on. Okay. Now one goes one way, one goes the other way. Just like that. Just put it on. There we go, some sort of cake. Push the middle. And the rest on top. Like so. Maybe a little bit like this. Please, still rolling. Alright, so I'm going to take it. The thing is with icing something, try and keep the icing all in one thing and move the icing as a giant thing. As soon as you get a space in the cake, it's going to pull the cake. So you need a great big load of stuff to do it. Oh no, this is bad. I'm doing badly now. Please. Okay, so in this case, I'm going to take a great big lump and stick it on the side. And it's like too much. It's too much, obviously. And then just take your thing, you see, start to pull it around. Then it's filling that gap. Use anything you want. Fork, spoon. Let's use a spoon now. Shake and do it with a spoon. Do it with a spoon or anything. Just get it round. And push it into the little groove inside there. covers the whole cake, then you're away. I mixed this a bit too long, that's why it's a bit weird. Okay. So what I'm doing now is getting some icing sugar, because I absolutely forgot to put in the sugar. I forgot to tell you to put sugar in it. Put sugar in your icing. It's a disaster. It's an absolute disaster. This is terrible. That's just a waste of cake. So what I'm going to do is going to try and save it. I'm going to get some plain flour and not put that on it. I'm going to get some icing sugar, which I have right here. Here, icing sugar. Let's take this. You're supposed to have added this to it. Let's see what I can do. There's no sugar in it now, so you're supposed to put sugar in it, Mike. You idiot. Okay, let's see if that's fixed a sin or two. Sometimes your best mistakes are your best inventions. That sugar seems to be soaking up into there. Try it. It's done it. It's pulled it back. I forgot to put the sugar in, but that's just done enough to put the sugar back into the thing. In fact, I think it's maybe a better technique. Very good. Well, we're covered. Well, that's what you got to do. Baking. You got to think on your feet. And whatever mode of transport you have going on. So let's see how this goes now. This is another freezer cake. If you want to freeze it, any of these cakes, they're great. Freeze them for work. Get them in that cabin. Show your mates. Best cake in the cabin. Let's take her off. Alright, wicked. That's what we have. Good enough cake. That's what we'll call this one. Good enough cake. So the other things come in the freezer as soon as it's ready. I'll do that bit. Thanks. Part 3.